It turns out that there's a little formula for finding the vertex when you're graphing quadratic functions. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to figure out what that is. So if I ask you to determine the vertex of this thing, what you should do is build a little table. And then, this is kind of strange, but you plug in for y, whatever this thing is over here. So you would plug in c. And you would have c equals ax squared plus bx plus c. You would subtract the c on both sides. You would have 0 equals ax squared plus bx. C's add up to 0. And then this still works out nicely. We can factor an x out. Ax plus b. This one gives me x equals 0. Ax plus b equals 0. I subtract the b. I get ax is negative b. So x is negative b over a. So I would have 0 and negative b over a. So where's the vertex? The vertex is halfway in between these two numbers. To do halfway in between, I take the two numbers, I add them, and I divide by 2. That's negative b over a divided by 2. I'm going to think of 2 as 2 over 1. I'm going to flip and multiply. Negative b over a times a half. That's negative b over 2a. So there's your vertex formula. X equals negative b over 2a. And then what you need to do, whatever answer that turns out to be, you take that answer and you plug it in, and that gives you the y number. So, for example, determine the vertex of y equals 2x squared plus 3x minus 4. X equals negative b over 2a gives me the x value of the vertex. B is 3, so that's going to be negative 3 over 2 times 2. That's negative 3/4. And that can happen, and I did this on purpose. I wanted to show you that the vertex does not always come out to be a nice shiny number. Sometimes it comes out to be fractions, and that's okay. And then I would take negative 3/4 and I would plug it in, and I would use my calculator. And I find it easier to use a decimal form. I know negative 3/4 is negative 0.75. So I'm going to have 2 times negative 0.75 squared plus 3 times negative 0.75 minus 4. However, I'm not going to leave my answer as a decimal. I'm going to convert that to a fraction, but I'll recognize that it's a little bit smaller than negative 5. Negative 41 over 8. So my vertex is negative 3/4, negative 41 over 8. Alright, so graphing that, negative 3/4 is almost negative 1. Negative 41/8 is a little more than negative 5, so it's right about there. Got to estimate a little bit. Now, what I would recommend is that you find the y value of 2 points, one on each side of the vertex. So in this case, I would probably plug in 0, and I would probably plug in negative 1. Because this number is a 2, I know I should get 2 points up here. This should open upward. Let's check just to make sure that does work. If I plug in 0, I get, it's a nice easy one to do, I get negative 4. That's right there. Now notice I'm not going to get symmetry this time because I only went a quarter step to the, or I went 3/4 of a step to the right, and I'm only going a quarter of a step to the left. When your vertex comes out to be fractions, you kind of lose the symmetry deal. Alright, so let's see, that's going to be negative 1 squared is 1, 1 times 2 is 2. Minus 3 minus 4, that's 2 minus 7, that's negative 5. So that's really, really close to that right there, at negative 1. But it is a little bit higher, and we can see that our parabola is going to go like so. Alright, so this was a very long section. 3 videos for it. A quick recap. If your equation's written in this form, your vertex is h comma k. A minus here moves it to the right, a plus moves it to the left. If this is a minus here, this is going to be a plus here. If this is a plus here, this is going to be a minus here. Up and down is okay. If this is a plus, this is a plus. If this is a minus, this is a minus. Alright, and then we had y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. To find the vertex, you had 2 choices. Personally, I kind of like this way, where I build the table and I plug in c, and that's going to give me 2 numbers here, and then the vertex is halfway in between those 2 numbers. Your other option is to use the little vertex formula. Whichever way is better for you is the way you should do it. Some students really like little formulas and they like to use the little formula, and then they build a table to get 2 more points. Other students, it works better to build the little table, do the halfway in between thing to get the vertex. Alright, so a long section. I know there's a lot of material in that one, so be patient and take a little extra time on the homework here.